The strongest subclass in the 2024 Player's Handbook is of course in the strongest class in the game. It's Wizard. Wizard always wins. Even hypothetically, if you played a subclassless Wizard, you're still better than everyone else, but that's assuming you know what to cast and you know how to properly position yourself and your AoEs. Wizard is amazing. They also have the best subclasses in the whole game. Abjuration Wizard is insanely good at staying alive, which gives you a lot of room to make mistakes. Divination Wizard with Portent can potentially guarantee shutdowns, be it from you or another party member with just 3 levels. Then we have Chronergy Wizard, which is literally the strongest subclass in the whole game. Surprisingly, I haven't covered it yet. I really should, but that's not this video. When it comes to mid-tier 3 and 4, there's one Wizard subclass that beats Chronergy in terms of power. It's the subclass every optimizer picks at level 14 and up, because they get the best feature in the entire game. That insane feature has not changed in the 2024 book. But what has changed is they made the subclass stronger. Well, arguably. It depends on how you look at it. It's the Illusionist Wizard. A lot of people forget this subclass exists unless they play a lot of tier 3 and 4 games. Now's the perfect time to bring this up because there's a lot of new stuff. Out of all the wizards, this got the most changes. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where this wizard can just create adamantine boxes around creatures without spending a spell slot. It doesn't cost any resources. This is no save shutdown.
What? How?
We'll get to that part at the end of the video. When people say Bard is the new best class in the game, they're super duper wrong. Nothing beats Illusionist or Chronergy Wizard. The wizard always wins. Now let's begin. Level 3 Illusion Savant. Choose 2 wizard spells from the Illusion School, each of which must be no higher than level 2, and add them to your spell book for free. In addition, whenever you gain access to a new level of spell slots in this class, you can add 1 wizard spell from the Illusion School to your spellbook for free. The chosen spell must be of a level for which you have spell slots. So when it comes to spell schools, I would say illusion spells got the biggest boost out of all the schools. Well, maybe Abjuration got a bigger one, but anyways. There's better rules for illusions in general, and crazy things like Phantasmal Force surprisingly got boosted. That's one of my favorite spells. Mirror Image got boosted, it's actually good now. Nistel's Magic Aura is the most broken spell in the game. You should ban it. Phantom Steed is an auto pick, you dash around 200 feet. You can do crazy things with Major Image, the list goes on. Something I missed in my spells video a while ago is the upcast of Major Image got boosted. If you cast this as a 4th level spell rather than a 6th level spell, as it was before, it lasts until dispelled, and you don't need to concentrate on it. That means you can place like 16 screaming men in somebody's house, and there's little the owner can do about it. Sure, they can make the investigation check, but that makes the sound faint. They will always hear it and faintly see it. Also, the neighbors will hear it too. Maybe they'll get the guards called on them. It's even better on the Illusionist because you have more range. It's an extra 60 feet, we'll get there eventually. Anyways, if you're really high level, you can just fill more screaming men in the neighborhood. And other things, you can become a real menace with this spell. There's no laws against casting illusion spells. I'm gonna make this neighborhood hell for everybody. I am lawful evil. Sadly though, you can't take it a step further because the 2024 Illusionist lost malleable illusions. It got replaced by a stupid feature we'll get to eventually.
Kubel, this is really messed up. I don't think you should share this.
Gator, we work for the Dragon Cult. Our job is to corrupt the viewers. This isn't against the law, and it's not against the rules. I can make a lot of money by doing this. I need it for crafting. Like a day later, I can walk up and pretend I don't know anything, ask for money, and I'll dispel it all. But I'm not gonna do that today because I want to talk about World Anvil, where you can make your dream worlds become a reality. This is a great DM tool for people who like to stretch their creative muscles, just like the Illusionist Wizard. The more you go at it, the more you improve. And don't worry about writer's block or anything. World Anvil is a great coach at guiding you to what you should be working on next. Or you can move on to map stuff. You can make a bunch of little villages and a dungeon nearby the villages. That's always a good start. It works every single time.
You can come up with anything that comes to mind. You can write about Santa Claus.
Yes, unlike the real world, maybe Santa is actually real.
What? Kobold, Santa Claus is real. I've sat on his lap at the mall.
Gator, that's just a random person with a costume on.
No! Santa Claus is real!
Well, anyways, maybe Santa can give the players a staff of power for Christmas. That would be awesome. Anyways, World Anvil is built by world builders for other world builders. If there's anything you need, they have it. This is an extremely powerful tool. I highly recommend checking it out. Use the code PACK at the checkout and you'll get a 51% off any yearly subscription. Back to the video. We need to read this spell first before we get into the main features. Mirror Image, cantrip, action 30-foot range, but it's 90-foot range for Illusionist. That's actually a really big deal. Keep that in mind. 5-foot area, duration 1 minute, no concentration. You create a sound or an image of an object within range that lasts for the duration. See the descriptions below for the effects of each. The illusion ends if you cast this spell again. If a creature takes a study action to examine the sound or image, the creature can determine that it is an illusion with a successful investigation check against your spell save DC. If a creature discerns the illusion for what it is, the illusion becomes faint to the creature. Sound. If you create a sound, its volume can range from a whisper to a scream. It can be your voice, someone else's voice, a lion's roar, a beating of drums, or any other sound you choose. The sound continues unabated throughout the duration. Or you can make discrete sounds at different times before the spell ends. Image. You create an image of an object, such as a chair, muddy footprints, or a small chest. It must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. The image can't create sound, light, smell, or any other sensory effect. Physical interaction with the image reveals it to be an illusion, since things can pass through it. Now let's read improved illusions. You can cast illusion spells without providing verbal components. And if an illusion spell you cast has a range of 10 plus feet, the range increases by 60 feet. You also learn the minor illusion cantrip. If you already know it, you learn a different wizard cantrip of your choice. The cantrip doesn't count against your number of cantrips known. You can create both a sound and an image with a single casting of minor illusion, and you can cast it as a bonus action. This is new. The super creative cantrip you can spam is now like 3 times stronger. You can create sound and image as a bonus action. In the past, it was just sound and image as an action. So now you can cast a leveled spell like Web and then bonus action cast minor illusion to form a 5-foot cube of something. That could be like a wall in front of you, for example. You could pretend to have cover. It can be a wax figure of a 5-foot wide giant spider or something. You can place that by the enemies, and when they swing at it, they'll realize, oh, it's fake. Then they'll think, maybe the web is fake, and then run into that. You have to keep in mind, most enemies and NPCs don't understand magic, or even what you're casting. And even if they do, they might not know that this is an illusion. And if the minor illusion straight up doesn't work, it's just a bonus action to refresh it to another illusion. And you're a wizard. You're not doing much with your bonus action, so change the illusion to something else. Keep doing that until you find something that works. For example, 5-foot stone wall in front of you for cover. A giant sizzling steak on a rock to trick this stupid monster over. This might not work because the illusion doesn't give off smell, but you never know. You have to always make something up until it works. A fight usually lasts 4 rounds, so you have 4 turns to get something to work. You have a lot of advantages here. You have tabletop freedom on your side. So just be creative. And eventually you'll just get better at it and better at it and better at it. You'll understand the table and what you can get away with. And you'll grow as a creative person. And I'm talking about out of game here. This feature and spell are great for creative storytelling. Now let's jump even deeper into it to make it even more powerful. You can't make an illusion of a creature or yourself. But what you can do is make wax figures. These are objects and they look like real people. Like, look! Here's the rock. Guys, trust me, the rock doesn't know simulacrum. That's a wax figure.
Kobold, I don't think any of them are real here.
I thought about that too, looking at the picture, but anyways, you can make a 5-foot wax figure. For example, yourself or some dinosaur behind the enemy roaring. I already mentioned the spider from before, that was my first example. Oh look, I made a sleeping gator, and he's making noises.
Holy moly, that's me! Wait, he's not opening his mouth.
That's because he's a wax figure, and the spell doesn't come with animation.
But Kobold, you never open your mouth either.
I use my mind powers to communicate. Anyways, quickly on utility, and this applies to anyone with the cantrip really. You can make an image of a map and show people the map. You can show people things like an object, go to the library and say, I'm looking for this book, and then show the cover of this book. If you're looking for a specific person, you can make a wax figure in your hand and show them the person you're looking for. You can even make canvases that show pictures of what you've seen or imagined. That can be like a comic book style or something that's kind of like a slideshow. It goes to the next canvas every 6 seconds. You're giving people a cutscene, and of course you can lie about the cutscene. You can make yourself look really epic in the cutscene while your entire party look like a bunch of noobs. You gotta steal the spotlight, you're a power gamer after all. If your quest giver is a caster, you should always ask them if they know Minor Illusion, so they can show you canvases, wax figures, maps, items, whatever. What you're trying to do is trigger cutscenes off them if they have the spell. By the way, and this is just weird, in Minor Illusion it still says you can make muddy footprints with it, but muddy footprints isn't an object. Why didn't they fix that? That doesn't make any sense to me. Even if you said that the mud is the object, there's multiple objects here. Anyways, I'm drifting off. You get the point with utility. For combat, like I said before, overall just throw whatever comes to mind and just see if it sticks. Every DM runs illusions differently. The sizzling steak is a perfect example. I've seen it a few times. I've seen it not work at all. I've seen it work as intended. And one time I saw a DM accidentally boost the spell in a one-shot. The DM thought the illusion came with smell, and if it does, then it absolutely will work. I wouldn't worry about this feature being potentially bad. I don't think it ever will, because wax and walls will usually always work. And on top of that, you're always thinking about new ways to trick enemies, and that's good. You get to use your creativity more than any class or subclass in the whole game. If you like to think a lot about interactions, this is the perfect subclass for you. If you like to meme and bullshit a lot, this is S tier already. Wax figure of Skibbity Toilets.
Kobold, I love Skibbity Toilets.
Same, I grew up with Gary's mod. Anyways, even if improved illusion somehow becomes a dead feature, you're still playing the strongest class in the whole game. Never ever forget that. You're the best. Next feature, it's super new. Phantasmal creatures. You always have summon beast and summon face spells prepared. Whenever you cast either spell, you can change its school to illusion, which causes the summoned creature to appear spectral. You can cast the illusion version of each spell without expending a spell slot, but casting it without a slot halves the creature's hit points. Once you cast either spell without a spell slot, you must finish a long rest before you can cast the spell in that way again. This really sucks, and both of these spells suck too. The first problem is as soon as you get this feature, you can't cast any of it unless you prepared for it in advance. These spells have component cost. Summon Beast is 200 gold, and Fey is 300 gold. That's super expensive for bad spells. You have AoE Shutdown and Big Blast spells at your disposal. I recommend casting them instead of summoning single bad creatures. You can buy 4 first level scrolls with that money. You can scribe 8 first level scrolls with that money. That's tons more resources for dungeon crawls. spells. You can craft an uncommon magic item with 200 gold. The very next level, any wizard gets Summon Greater Demon, which is an incredible summon spell, and it doesn't cost anything. If you don't know how to place it well, then it can be very dangerous, so I made a video about how to optimally use this spell. Link in the description, it's still relevant. Giving your martial friend 200 or 300 gold is a better investment than these spells. The list goes on. You also need to concentrate on these spells. That means you can't have a big spell active like Web or Hypnotic Pattern. And by the very next level, you can upcast Tiny Servant, which gives you 3 servants with 15 AC. Yeah, their hit points are bad, but there's so many of them. And it doesn't require concentration, and there's no cost behind them. They're very powerful with Magic Stone, so if there's a Warlock in the party, or you took an Artificer dip, this stacks up to a lot of damage. You get the point. These Tasha's spells suck. As for the illusion version, that's not very useful besides triggering traps. They can't attack because multi-attack says the spirit makes a number of Fey Blade attacks equal to half the spell's level. That's 0, you didn't spend any level. There is the bonus action with Trixie. Spammable Darkness is super good when you actually need it, or you play in a party that's built around darkness. I know some of you are looking at Mirthful, but like, come on. Don't spend money on this. Even the illusion costs 300 gold. Sure, it's a one-time payment, but oh my god. You can get so much better resources for 300 gold. Please, cast Hypnotic Pattern like a normal person. End the fight. Don't play with the fights, progress the story. You're using Minor Illusion to play with the fights while casting big impactful spells. And please don't fight me about these Tasha summons. I've said in day 1 when Tasha's came out, these spells are awful. You're not gonna change my mind. Especially now with the new crafting rules. Holy moly.
But Kubal, this is a dead feature for you then.
Yeah, I mostly view this as a dead feature, especially if you don't have the components, which I'm not gonna go after personally. I'm very sad that Illusionist lost Malleable Illusions. For those that don't know this feature, I might as well read it. It says when you cast an illusion spell that has a duration of 1 minute or longer, you can use your action to change the nature of that illusion, provided you can see the illusion.
That's actually more fitting for the subclass's core identity.
I know, right? And it's super strong with the new major illusion. And then there's even crazier things like Mirage Arcane, which is a classic with Illusionist. But that's no more now. Instead, we get stupid Tasha summons that are super bad and have nothing to do with illusions. And these are especially bad on a wizard at this level. And they kept the stupid price tags. I recommend asking your DM if you can get malleable illusions back. I know that's homebrew, but like, come on. Do you really want some Tasha summons? Or do you want to actually play an illusionist? I think it's obvious. You want the feature that boosts your creative options. Next, Illusory Self. Beginning at 10th level, you can create an illusory duplicate of yourself as an instant, almost instinctual reaction to danger. When a creature makes an attack roll against you, you can use your reaction to interpose the illusory duplicate between the attacker and yourself. The attack automatically misses you, then the illusion dissipates. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. This sadly only works on single attack rolls, and literally everyone at these levels have multi-attack. Your shield spell works on multiple attacks. Shield is the best, you know this. You're probably never gonna use this feature, but if you're out of slots, it is a short rest resource, so it's got that going for it. But yeah, I say this is a bad feature. Last and far from the least, the best feature in the entire game. Nothing beats this feature. Illusory Reality. When you cast an illusion spell with a spell slot, you can choose one inanimate, non-magical object that is part of the illusion and make that object real. You can do this on your turn as a bonus action while the spell is ongoing. The object remains real for 1 minute, during which you can't deal damage or give any conditions. For example, you can create an illusion of a bridge over a chasm and then make it real and cross it. Here's a better example. Action cast silent image, create a 15-foot cube adamantine cage around the enemy and make it real as a bonus action. You can even cram creatures into this thing. That's straight up a better version of Wall of Force, and it's with a first level spell slot! You can easily default kill encounters with this. It's also easier to microwave with. You can split encounters, you could do so many things with this. Nothing beats this feature. You are literally God, you've won the game. But it gets better. We can actually make this at will with no resource cost.
What the heck? How?
There's a feat from Tashes called Eldritch Adapt, which lets you pick an Eldritch Invocation. The one we want is Misty.
Kobold, that doesn't work anymore. It got nerfed.
Huh, they changed this. Well, the prerequisite is now level 2 Warlock. Okay. Anyways, Misty Visions lets you cast Silent Image at will. And if you can cast that at will with Illusory Reality, it's over. You have the strongest combo in the entire game. If there's a threat, you put them in a box. You can do this all day. No worries. You can even put yourself in the box. No problem. The only thing that's potentially threatening to you is a spellcaster, or you losing initiative. That's it. Now, obviously, you don't need this invocation. First level Wall of Force is still insane. You're still God. You don't really need this invocation. If you need a bigger cage or box or whatever, you can maybe squeeze them into Silent Image, or just cast Major Image. That's basically all you need to know about this subclass. It's always been really cool and super broken at endgame. But with this new version, you get to be more creative at early game every turn, which makes this subclass more fun. You get to practice your creativity more often. The only thing that isn't fun about this is they replaced malleable illusions with a bad feature that summons bad creatures, and has nothing to do with illusions. I really don't understand why they did this. Still though, I'm thrilled to say I heavily recommend playing this at tier 1 now. You're gonna have a good time. If I play a wizard for 2024, I'm picking this no matter the level, but I will be asking for malleable illusions. Anyways, end of video. Don't forget to check out World Anvil, and by the way, Merry Christmas everyone. I hope some Twingas appear in your home and give you gifts. Those charms are really powerful. Anyways, thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.